Okay, so today is August 20th, Monday. It's our first full week of school. We're going to start off with an opener. Now, the opener's directions say to evaluate. When I go to evaluate, can I just start anywhere within this first problem to solve? No. What am I going to have to use in order to solve? We briefly talked about it on Friday. PEMDAS, what does that stand for?
Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, addition.
Parentheses, exponents, multiplication,
Division. Addition and subtraction.
There we go. Okay, so if we look at this first problem here, 4 times 3 squared, where am I going to start, AJ?
Exponent.
Okay, so 3 squared, what's that going to be?
9.
Okay, so I'm just going to cross it off and put 9 above it. Okay, so now what do I do?
9 times 4.
Which is?
36.
And because this is my final answer, what should I do to it?
Box it.
Box it. Great job. Okay, let's work across. So we now have 2 to the third plus 3 to the second. Or another way of saying it, 2 cubed plus 3 squared. Doesn't matter how you say it. Who knows or who can tell me where I'm going to start with this particular problem? AJ's answered, so it has to be somebody other than AJ. And you guys are really lucky because there's not very many of you because you're all going to have a chance to participate. Jalen. Okay, so it's not going to be 2 times 3. It's going to be 2 times the third power, right? Because I'm not going to take 2 times 3 and get 6. I'm going to take
2 times 2 times 2.
Which is?
Equals 6.
2 times 2 is?
4.
4 times 2 is?
Wait, huh?
I don't know, right? Huh? Right? What's 4 times 2?
I said just forget.
You got it? So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is?
8.
8. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that 8 underneath here. And then what's the next part I'm going to do?
The same thing. But instead it's going to be 3 to the second power.
Yeah, 3 to the second power, which is going to be?
8 again. I mean, 8 is going to be like...
What's 3 to the second power? So it's going to be 3 times 3, which will be? 9. And what operation sign do I put between my 8 and 9 here?
Plus.
And then what do I do?
Oh, do 8 plus 9?
Yeah.
13.
Try it again.
I got... Oh.
8 plus 9 is what?
Oh, I got 30. Oh.
Can somebody help him out? Jaden? No?
You got what?
Ain't it 16?
No? What is it, EJ? 17. You guys crack me up.
No. Oh, because I did 2 times.
Did you mess up your exponents?
Yeah, because I used to exponent, but it only put square.
And because it's your final answer, make sure you box it. Does anybody have a question on this other than, like, if you messed up, like, solving, I get it, but does anybody not understand how I got this answer? Okay. Hey, it's the beginning of the school year. It's going to take our brains a moment to get warmed up again. And I would rather you participate and answer wrong than just sit there and stare at me because that'd be really boring. So now we have 6 squared minus 2 times 4. So now I've had AJ, I've had Jalen. We're going to count as those 2 are the only ones that participated. So anybody else, who can tell me where to start this next problem? Everybody's going to have a turn. So you might as well take advantage and get to it. Daisha.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, you're back there again. I got a call on you. You're like, just get it over with. Okay, so do I have any parentheses? Do I have any exponents? Yeah. So I'm going to start with the exponents. Where's my exponent? What's it next to? Yeah, it's right here, right? The 6 squared. So 6 squared doesn't mean 6 times 2. It means 6 times itself twice. So you're going to take 6 times 6 and get... Yes, that's why you guys have those calculators. Use them. I'm totally okay with that. Okay, so I'm going to come underneath here. I'm going to put an equal sign to show that I'm starting a new problem. So I'm going to put 36, and then I'm going to bring down the rest of my problem. Okay, so I've done my exponents. Do I have any multiplication in here? Yeah, what is it?
2 times 4 equals
So
8.
2 times 4 equals 8. So I'm going to bring that 8 down. What else do I need to bring down? And then what operation sign goes between the two? Okay. Now you're at your last step. What do I do last?
You just get 8
Yes. So 36 minus 8.
28.
And what do I do with my final answer? Box it. Did any of you guys get that one right on your own? Didn't even try it? You saw all those numbers, you're like, forget this, it's Monday. Can't do it. The only thing I'm going to ask, make sure you're showing me your work. Don't just give me the answer. We're going to start showing our work, okay? So if you just put the answer 28, go ahead and get that work in there for me. Okay, and then there were 1, 2, 3 that haven't participated. You know what's awesome about that? I think I have 2 or 3. Oh, I only have 2 problems left. So the last problem will have to be a joint effort. Okay, this next one is 2 to the 6th power. Danielle, did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay, what am I going to do for this last one on the top part here?
2 times 6.
I'm going to take 2 times 6 and get 12?
32.
How did you get that? How did you get that? You didn't take 2 times 6. You did what?
I had to.
Did you do that 6 times?
Yeah.
There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you take 2 times itself 6 times, so 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. Oh, 16 times 2 is? What's 16 times 2? Is it 32? And then what's 32 times 2? 64. Is that right? Double check in your calculator. So in your calculator, you're going to take 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, because it's 2 to the 6th power. Check your work, though. I'm not sure if that's right, so make sure somebody calculates it for me. AJ, you said it is?
No, I said it was.
Okay. You calculate? Okay. Any questions on this top part here? Did you get my text message?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. All right. Moving on to the really long problem. Do you guys all have this down? Because once I hit the next arrow, it's gone.
Oh, I got one more.
Got them all down? Showed all your work? Make sure you have all your work shown. Okay. Last chance. We good? All right. All right, this last problem. Oh my goodness. How many of you guys attempted this?
Oh, I thought you did though.
Oh no, we're doing this big long one now. You attempted it? Good. Okay, so we're still going to do what AJ said at the beginning here. We're still going to use PEMDAS to solve this. When I have a problem that looks like this, I always work the top and then I work the bottom. So I'm going to start working the top part of the problem first. So do I have any parentheses here? Yeah. So I'm going to start within these parentheses. Now, keep in mind, when you multiply and divide, you do those at the same time going left to right. Same thing when you add and subtract. You do whichever one comes first, left to right. So those are kind of interchangeable. So what that means is because the A comes first, it doesn't mean I have to do the A first. I actually do them both at the same time, working left to right. Okay, so if I'm going to work in the parentheses, I'm going to do like I'm reading. So what's 3 minus 2? 3 minus 2 is what? And then 1 plus 2 is? Okay, so 3 minus 2 is 1, 1 plus 2 is 3. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that. I'm going to go ahead and keep it in the parentheses, though, just to kind of keep it separate from everything. You don't have to keep it in the parentheses. That's just my way of keeping myself a little bit more organized. All right, so I'm going to have to drop down here because I'm going to run out of room after I do this. So I've now done the parentheses on top. What comes next? Anybody? Exponents. So I'm going to take 3 to the 3rd power. I'm not going to take 3 times 3 because that would be 9. That's not right. I'm going to take 3 to the 3rd power. So what's 3 times 3 times 3? So 3 times 3 is? And then 9 times 3 is? 27. So now I'm going to have 27. And what else do I write up here? Minus. Okay. And then my bottom stays 8 divided by 4 times 3. And we could probably start working the top and bottom at the same time now. Okay? All right, next step. I've now done parentheses. I've now done exponents. Do I have any multiplication or division on the top or bottom? Both, right? So what's my multiplication or division on the top? Which is, so I'm going to write 27 minus 3, right? On the bottom, do you guys have any, ooh, that's really tiny looking, isn't it? On the bottom, do you guys have any multiplication or division? I'm just rewriting that because 27 minus 3. Okay, yes, you have multiplication and division, right? Now remember, multiplication and division, you do them at the same time. You can do the division first and the multiplication first. So we're going to do it left to right. So what does that mean? What am I going to do first? Multiplication, division, you do whichever one comes first, left to right. They go hand in hand. Yeah, you're going to do the division. So what's 8 divided by 4? I heard it, I think. What's 8 divided by 4? Anybody? 2. And then what do? Well, here, I'll just go ahead and write it like this so we just don't get confused. So then I have 2 times 3. Okay? Now, we're back to the top. What do I do at the top to finish this? Which is? Okay. And what do I do on the bottom? Which is? Oh my gosh, we're just about done. I have one more thing I'm going to do. I can either look at this as a fraction and simplify it and put it in the simplest form, or I can look at this as a what other type of problem? A division. I'd rather divide if it works out evenly because it's quicker. So if I'm going to divide, I'm going to take 24 divided by 6 and get 4. And then I'm going to box my final answer because that's a lot of work and I need to know where my final answer is going to be. Make sure your names are on these and go ahead and pass them to the, pass them to the front. Mr. McFarland will go ahead and grab them from here.